There's a famous story in Herman Miller's history about a person that had a job called the millwright, which essentially was the person who kept the machines running. And the millwright passed away. And DJ Dupree, our founder, went to the millwright's funeral. And on the way home, he stopped by the widow's house to pay his respects. And while he was there, she asked if she could read some poetry to DJ. And she brought out this box of poetry. And she was reading the poetry. And DJ said, well, this is really beautiful. Who is the author? Who's the poet? And she said, well, it was my husband, the millwright, Herman, who had passed away. And DJ, in a video we have of him, the most profound things he said, it completely changed his outlook on what he called labor. And he said, up until then, I thought of labor as a tool to be used. And what I realized by this was there was another side to this person who I saw as a millwright, that he had a level of creativity that I never really had tried to tap into. And he said, from that day forward, I always ask myself, what more do these people have to offer than what I can see? And I think at that point, it really changed the tone and the character of the way that the company operated, from being inclusive not only in ownership and results, but also inclusive of solving the problems and letting the people be involved in the creation of the ideas and the implementation of those, rather than that coming sort of from management on down. Overall, the environment has been sort of an overarching value for Herman Miller since DJ led the company. And again, much on his belief of being a good steward of the environment. I don't think he ever, this is way before the green movement, so we never talked about green. We simply believed it was doing the right thing. The honeybee story, we were building a new building in Holland, and after the building was constructed, we discovered we had a real problem with paper wasps. Paper wasps were attacking people as they came into the building. Well, the question was, how do you get rid of the paper wasp? And, of course, the first thing people start to think about is, well, we can get rid of the natural flora that they're attracted to. We can use chemicals. And it turned out, this kind of ties into the whole idea of the millwright story. We happen to have an employee on staff who was a beekeeper outside of work. It's one of the things that he did in his free time. And he came to us and said, well, I happen to know that one of the natural enemies of the paper wasp is a honeybee. So in fact, rather than using chemicals, we created our own colony of honeybees, which gave us kind of an interesting side benefit. We also produced honey. So to me, it's a great symbol of Herman Miller using creativity to ask, how do I solve a problem, and solve a problem in an unconventional way that actually created more benefits rather than creating a harm to solve the problem.